We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 3 times a week on the Internet across the nation. Our guest by phone, Wayne Allyn.
Who is that masked man?
Hey, by the way, when we last left off, I was saying how Nancy Pelosi's face looks forever frozen in time. And I just want to say, her face is the perfect reaction. You know, they say a clock is right twice a day, no matter, even if it's wrong, it's right twice a day, right? Even if there's no batteries in the clock, it's just automatically twice a day. It has to be, 12 o'clock. It's midnight, it's noon, so it's right whether it likes it or not. Pelosi's shocked, frozen in time face is perfect response for when we say, did Obama just say he's going to bring foreign Ebola patients to the United States and we're going to pay for it? She's got the perfect face for that because most Republicans' jaws open up, their face is frozen in shock and fear, and that's how Nancy Pelosi looks all day long. So she's got the perfect response to Obama bringing foreign Ebola patients to America. Oh, my God.
Since we're talking about people, how about a couple other overviews, one on Hillary and one on John Kerry?
Well, Hillary foot in her mouth big time because that's going to be used against her. That line that she did a week ago where she said, businesses don't create jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, jeez.
Businesses are the only ones that create jobs. What are you talking about? That was even worse than Obama's line about, you didn't build that. That wins the award for the communist line of the year coming from any politician. So when she runs, she's going to be in so much trouble. That line is going to be read again and again and again. And I'd just like to ask everybody out there listening, if you have a job right now, if you don't, thank Barack Obama. But if you do, who created the job? It was created by some businessman or woman somewhere. To say that businesses don't create jobs is the single stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, except it's not stupid. It's tragic. It means the person isn't dumb. Hillary's not dumb. She's a communist. She actually believes it's government and the state that determines our fate in life. It's not ourselves. And when people think like that, they should leave America. She doesn't even forget about president. She has deserved to live in America with that statement. She should go somewhere else. Tell her to go to Cuba.
But what difference does it make?
What difference does anything make for Hillary Clinton, right?
That's her other comment.
Taxes, what difference does any of it make? And that's your next president. Wow. I've always said, and I've said this for a year now, I just don't think she's going to be the nominee. I think she's a really bad campaigner. That's why she had the nomination completely locked up in 2008, completely locked up. And Obama beat her, a total unknown beater, because she's not a good debater. She's not a good campaigner. She doesn't say the right thing at the right time. And I just have a funny feeling she's not going to get the nomination this time again.
Wayne, it's interesting. I love that book, Game Change. And it talked about how the Democratic power base went to Obama and said, listen, we can't afford to have Hillary back because we know Bill hasn't changed his ways. It'll be a disaster for us. And they egged him to run now instead of waiting, another 4 years. I've got a sneaking feeling the Democratic power base is going to do the exact same thing because they don't want the disaster that Hillary and Bill would bring.
Yeah, well, I have a funny feeling that you might see Elizabeth Warren as the Democratic candidate for president. And I think, if they do that, they've made a gigantic error. I don't think she can win the election. I think we're going to win, meaning Republicans, conservatives, Tea Partiers, all the above. I don't think, the name Clinton is powerful. The name Obama is powerful at this point. I don't think the name Elizabeth Warren is going to mean much to the average American. And when Republicans start working her over, the idea that she said for 20 years she's part Indian and that American Indian, and that's how she got a $600,000 a year professor job at Harvard Law School. I don't think that's going to sit too well when the American people find out. Most people don't know about that. So I think she's got big problems too. So I don't know who they're going to run, but if it's not Hillary, I think they got problems because Joe Biden's not winning the election and Elizabeth Warren's not winning the election. And that was my argument a year ago when I said if you define Hillary now, if the Karl Roves of the world would spend $100 million running ads now, way before she gets the nomination, defining her the same way that Democrats ran ads defining Mitt Romney as a rich, out-of-touch, mean guy who takes your job away, fires you, and takes your health insurance away. They did that before he ever got into campaign season. And they defined him, and most people believed it, and that was the end of Mitt Romney. they should do that to Hillary, because if she isn't the nominee, they don't have another nominee. They're never going to win an election with Joe Biden. They're never going to win an election with Elizabeth Warren. So I think that Bernie Sanders, the socialist, I mean, are they going to try and run him? Who are they going to run? So it's Hillary Clinton or no one. So if you can knock Hillary out, they have no one. And that's my game plan. You got to knock Hillary out now before she ever gets her momentum or her sea legs, as they say.
That's true. We're having a conversation with an old friend of ours, Wayne Allyn Root. Wayne, I want to go back to Debbie Wasserman Schultz for a second. I can't believe how the stupid statements some of these people make. I mean, here she is saying that the Republican Party is more dangerous than ISIS. What kind of stupid comment is that?
I don't know how they can say something like that, but, they're protected by the media. And you know that the things that I say, if I decide to run against Harry Reid for U.S. Senate in 2016, which I'm seriously considering, the media will bring up every single thing I've ever said that's even slightly controversial, like the comment you just laughed about that I made about Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh, they're going to bring that up. They're going to say Wayne Root said she's unattractive, and therefore he's a chauvinist. But if a Democrat says something terrible, nobody ever brings it up. That's the problem I've got. It's not that we don't say things that are wrong. It's that only our stuff is brought up, and their stuff isn't. I went on Larry King's show. A lot of people don't even know Larry King still has a show. Larry King has a web show, web-only TV show. And what's the name of the station it's on? I can't even remember the name. But it's a website that has Larry King and Jesse the Body Ventura and Jerry Springer, believe it or not. Those three have their own shows on this website. And so Larry asked me to fly to Los Angeles and be his guest, and I did. And so I'm on with a liberal Republican and a liberal Democrat. And Larry says, my staff went to Facebook and they found this comment that you said Obama's a communist. How do you defend yourself, Wayne? So my point is, number one, I did just fine proving that Obama was a communist. I have no problem with that. You want to bring it up, fine. I'll defend it. Obama is a communist. But I noticed his staff never went and looked at the liberal Republicans' Facebook site, and they never went and looked at the liberal Democrats' Facebook site. They only went to mine. And that's the problem with this country. We're now living in a banana republic. The rules don't count. There's nothing fair. There is no fair fight. The press is out to get Republicans, and anything we do is fair game. And that's fine. I agree it should be. But anything a Democrat does is quieted down. No one, it's a joke if Sarah Palin says, I could see Russia from my house in Alaska, which, by the way, she never said. It was the character acting like Sarah Palin that said it on Saturday Night Live, and they convinced everyone that she said it. But God forbid, a Democrat like Obama says, I've traveled to all 57 states. The media doesn't say a word, and that's what he said.
Yeah, 58.
That's what he said, folks. Obama thinks there are 57 states. Folks, how is it fair that you don't bring that up in the middle of a debate? Republicans should bring it up. It's our fault. We should embarrass people like that. You thought there were 57 states. If you don't believe me, let's go to the videotape and show Obama saying, I've just traveled to 57 states. No one mentions their gaffes. They only mention a comment that we make that they think is controversial.
Wayne, going back to you think it's going to be a landslide. I'm not as convinced as you are. I think there might be some problems in Colorado, in Georgia, and also in Louisiana.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, there's a couple of reasons I think it's going to be a landslide. Number one, the fact that all the candidates are running away from Obama tells me an awful lot. I've never seen anything like this. Come on, in the history of politics, never have candidates denied the stage with the President of the United States. Never have they denied they voted for him. It's unheard of. A Democrat denying you voted for the Democratic President of the United States? That was Allison Grimes in Kentucky. Running against Mitch McConnell. She denies she ever voted for Obama. She won't tell you. She says the sanctity of the ballot box means I don't have to tell you. I've never heard of anyone going to that length. It's a joke. And even Todd, whatever his name is, on the NBC Evening News, the Washington correspondent, I can't remember his name, White House correspondent, Todd said that disqualifies her as a candidate. She's done. And he's a big, bleeding heart liberal.
Yes, he is.
And even he said she's done. So, look, there's a lot of things going on we've never seen before. They're all running away from Barack Obama. They know he's destroyed health care. They know he's bankrupted the electorate with gigantic premium increases. They know people are getting cancellations by the millions for their health insurance. And they know that no one likes Obama's Ebola policy. So it's just all falling apart for the Democratic Party. So I think there will be a landslide. Will there be cheating going on? Will they rig the machines? Will there be massive voter ID fraud? I think all of that will happen, but not like a presidential year. They can't do what they did in 2012 because they don't have the ability. Most of the states where I believe we're going to pick up Senate seats and thereby take over the Senate are Republican-red states. They don't have enough Democrats in the state to pull off election fraud. So they're going to do election fraud in Chicago, Illinois. Well, I'm not claiming we're going to win Illinois. They'll do election fraud in Massachusetts. I'm not claiming we're going to win Massachusetts. They'll do election fraud in Philadelphia and New York City and Los Angeles and San Francisco, but I never claimed we're winning those cities or those states. That we're going to win states where it's an even playing field or the edges to the Republican Party. Romney won the election in those states, and now a Democrat is running, and those Democrats are dead on arrival. They can't pull off the voter fraud in those states, and that's why I feel really good about Tuesday.
Good. Wayne, let's give you one more segment. We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.